Guitar tips, guitar tips, just the tips, just for you. Guitar tips. Hello and welcome to Guitar Tips. My name is Adam Levy. This is my weekly video blog series. I post a brand new tip here each and every week on this channel, just the tips, just for you. As you can see, the sun is hanging low in the sky. I'm getting kind of a late start today recording this tip. I really strive to use natural light, but there's not a whole lot of natural light going to be left. So I'm going to talk fast and try and get through as much as I can before I'm, just in shadows completely here. This week's tip is about chord scales. What are chord scales? Why do we practice them? What do they have to do with music? What do they have to do with the guitar? So here's what a chord scale sounds like, and then I'll talk about what it is. Here's a chord scale. Maybe you've heard that before. What it is we take a voicing. This is a common C major 7 voicing. I'm playing C, G, B, E. And I'm moving it along the same 4 strings 2, 3, 4, and 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just going to stay on those strings. And I'm going to stay in the key of C and use only notes from the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And if we do that, so each note from the first chord to the second moves up 1 scale degree. Right? So this chord, if we do that, we're going to wind up here. That's a D minor 7 chord. So C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5, and C major 7. And that's that pattern, major 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, and minor 7 flat 5. That's true whatever key we're in. If I started in B, we're going to get the same pattern. Major 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, and back to major 7. So that's a good thing to memorize. And if you're playing jazz tunes, you'll notice that those are the go-to chords in whatever key we're in. If you're for the key of B, not a lot of jazz tunes in the key of B, but hypothetically, those would be the important chords that you'd want to be familiar with, because those are going to be the chords that you're going to have to play in the key. So they give your ear a sense of, they give your imagination and your ear and your hands a sense of, here's the stuff that's important harmonically in whatever key we're in. So that's one of the reasons it's important to understand it, and it helps you to be able to analyze chords if you're looking at, to analyze tunes if you're looking at tunes, in the real book or wherever you find jazz types of tunes. You can start to go like, oh, I see, yeah, that's familiar. That's just a 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. I know that pattern. I know the chords in the key. So that's one reason it's important to understand chord scales. They're just such a foundational part of music, of jazz and related music. But it's also a way of exploring the guitar, and it's also a way of developing your left hand and your right hand as well. Because in order for this stuff to sound like anything, it's really, every note has to be clear, which means you're pressing down just hard enough to make a clear tone. You're not pushing down too hard. You're not pushing down too soft. You're just getting a nice clear tone. And you're also not accidentally blocking off strings by letting your fingers droop or collapse. So there's a lot of real intentional stuff that has to happen in your fretting hand to make those chords sound good. And also you want to be sure that your picking hand, whether you're using just a pick or pick and fingers or just fingers, that you can really hear each note clearly, and that if you wanted to, you could make any one of the notes jump out, either by playing it a little louder or a little earlier or both. The guitar is sort of a funny thing. I was just thinking about this week. It's so obvious, but I never really noticed it before. Your fingers are not equal in length. At least mine aren't. So to get everything to just fret in time and sound in time from your picking hand, it's really not an easy thing. Like, our hands really aren't meant to play the guitar, I don't think, but it sure is fun, so we do. But you're having to kind of overcome these obstacles that every single person has. Nobody has fingers of equal length or equal strength, so we just do the best we can. So in doing this, you really have to spend time. I'm going quickly, but you really shouldn't go too quickly at first. You just want to make sure that every note sounds really clear. I even had a teacher when I was young, a guy named Jimmy Weibel, who didn't want me to use bars. So, like, this is a D minor 7 chord. Every guitar player I've ever seen would play it this way as a bar, but Jimmy wanted it to be 4 fingers. Each note is a finger. Each voice, you could say, is a finger. And that's harder. It takes more time, but it develops this hand, and it gives you the opportunity to do broken things like that. Or wow, gotta practice that stuff. Wow, well, you get the idea. It's tricky. So that's chord scales in one type of voicing. This voicing is 1, 5, 7, 3, meaning that from a C scale, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3. So that's 1, 5, 7, 3. Another way you could look at that voicing is a 5th and a 3rd and a 4th. I hope that's not confusing, because it's a really different way of thinking about it, just in terms of intervals. You're just measuring, that's an interval, that's a 5th, that's a 3rd, and that's a 4th. And as we go through the chords, the specific characters may change, like here we have a perfect 5th, a major 3rd, and a perfect 4th. Here we have a perfect 5th, a minor 3rd, and a perfect 4th. Same. We already looked at that one. Here is a perfect 5th, a minor 3rd, and wow, what is that? It's not a perfect 4th, it's an augmented 4th from F to B. From F to B natural. That's an augmented 4th. And then this one we've already done. And then the minor 7 flat 5 has a diminished 5th, a major 3rd, and a perfect 4th. So they all have different qualities to them. So that's a different way of thinking about it. I think most people tend to look at these shapes in terms of where they fall in the scale. So we'll call this 1, 5, 7, 3. And it's important to not just do it in the major scale, but actually to do it in other kinds of scales that you know. That's a really great way to explore the sound of scales, not just one note at a time, but in stacks of harmony. You can really hear a lot of what gives a scale its special sound. So another type of scale that's pretty common in jazz is the melodic minor scale. So that's, if you don't know it, it's like major, but it has a flat 3rd. So C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, C. So if we harmonize that using 1, 5, 7, 3, we're going to get some different chords. The first chord, C minor major 7, D minor 7, E flat, major 7, sharp 5. And again, that's just the result of following the scale of the string. So we wind up here. F7, F7, G7. So 2 dominants in a row. And then 2 minor 7 flat 5s in a row. And then back home. So the qualities are minor major 7. That's a minor chord with a major 7. So minor major 7, minor 7, major 7, sharp 5, and then dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, minor 7 flat 5, and back to minor major 7. We can also deal with the harmonic minor scale. Harmonic minor has an A flat in it. So C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B natural, and C. So if we harmonize that, we get this. So that's minor major 7 again. Now the 2 chord is minor 7 flat 5 because we've got A flat in this scale. The 3 chord is the same. The 4 chord is different. When I say the same, it's the same as the scale we did previously, the melodic minor. So starting chord is the same. The 2 chord is different because we've got the A flat. The 3 chord is the same. The 4 chord is different because again we've got A flat. 5 chord is the same. 6 chord is different, again, to accommodate the A flat. And then the 7 chord is a fully diminished chord instead of minor 7 flat 5. So again, starting from the 5 chord in melodic minor, you do this. And in harmonic minor, you do this. So pretty different characters. Yeah. So that's the kind of starter kit for chord scales. We did the major scale, we did the melodic minor scale, and we did the harmonic minor scale, all using the same voicing, 1, 5, 7, and 3. If you are watching this on my regular Guitar Tips channel, this will be the end of this tip. You can keep exploring on your own, trying different types of scales, different types of voicings, playing in different keys. There's a lot you could do on your own just from the stuff that we've already done so far in this tip. So do keep exploring that. If you want to explore this topic further, as I'm going to do in the full-length version of this guitar tip, then check out Guitar Tips Pro. There's a link down below underneath this video in a little description box. And that's where the tips really blossom. There's a lot more information there. There's PDFs of all of the music that I'm playing. There's much more in-depth study of the topic. Not just this week, but each and every week I'm doing 2 versions of the tips. The tip of the tip, and then the whole iceberg, as it were. So if you want to go all the way and really master chord scales, really get a deeper understanding, Guitar Tips Pro is the place to do that, and it's just a click away. So check it out.